Who is responsible for Taiwan's defense?
Part 120.
Legal Viewpoints on Cuba's Status as of April 11, 1899.
By William E. Burkheimer.
Excerpted from Military Government and Martial Law.
Position of the United States military authorities in Cuba, circa 1899. The position of the United States military authorities in Cuba, before the Spanish authorities abandoned the island in 1899, was one of military occupation, pure and simple. After that event, it was military occupation of a particular kind, namely, wherein the dominant military power exercised authority over the island as trustee for a Cuban nation not yet in existence, but the creation of which was promised, and which was to have the assistance of the United States in establishing itself. During the former period, the dominant military power exercised the authority of a conqueror in all his plenitude. During the latter period, the United States military authorities governed, indeed, wholly by the rights of war, yet at no time did they lose sight of the fact that they were acting in the interests of the future Cuban nation. The government might be styled civil, but it was military for every necessary purpose.
Rule of military occupation in Cuba. The relation of the United States to Cuba, resulting from the War of 1898, came up for review before the Supreme Court. An American who in Cuba was charged with crime had been arrested within one of the states of the Union, and it was held that he was subject to extradition. The court remarked that, as between the United States and all foreign nations, the former held Cuba as conquered territory, as between the United States and Cuba, the latter was held by military power in trust for the Cuban people, to be delivered over on the establishment of a stable government. It was a military occupation.
Preliminary organization of the Cuban civil government.
The military governor organized the civil government under 4 departments.
Afterwards, a Supreme Court was established. A postal code was published. The jurisdiction of the criminal courts defined. It was, the court concluded, wholly for the political department of the government to decide when our troops should be withdrawn from Cuba.
Definitions. In the practice of the United States, the term political branches, or political departments, is used to collectively refer to both the executive and legislative branches of the U.S. federal government that are primarily responsible for managing foreign affairs and international relations.